The brightest star is not always the most important source. Gamma Cassiopeiae shines so intensely that it feels almost impossible to attribute what happens around it to anything else. It is there, obvious, almost familiar, and the brain completes the story on its own. If X-rays are coming from that direction, it must be the one producing them. The idea is plausible because hot, massive stars are energy factories. They hurl supersonic winds into space, heat gas, create shocks and turbulence. In many cases, X-ray emission arises this way, like an invisible haze of plasma lighting up when flows collide. And gamma SOS is not even a clean star. It belongs to the B family, stars that spin extremely fast and are often surrounded by a disk of gas, a thin and unstable ring made of matter expelled by the star itself. Such a disk seems like the perfect stage for extreme phenomena, magnetic reconnections, regions where gas compresses and heats. If you are looking for a theater of energy, here it is. The problem is that, as soon as you look closer, the plot begins to fall apart. Gamma Cass's X-rays are not just many, they are too hard, too hot, too restless. This is a qualitative difference, not a matter of degree. The emission does not resemble that of typical massive stars, where X-rays are relatively soft and tied to shocks in the wind. Here, instead, it looks like the signature of gas driven to temperatures that require a more concentrated, more violent, more efficient mechanism for turning energy into radiation. And above all, the variability is nervous. The source changes on short timescales, as if the switch were close to the heart of the phenomenon, not spread across an extended wind. At that point, the hypothesis, it's the star itself, becomes unstable. To make the numbers and timescales fit, one has to invoke special magnetic conditions, fine-tuned geometries, complex couplings between star and disk. It is not impossible, but it is costly. Every time you try to explain everything with the visible protagonist, you must add another detail, another constraint, another exception. And this is where the other story, the more uncomfortable one, begins to whisper. If the X-ray source were instead a compact object, small but dense, the logic would change. A compact body does not need to be luminous to produce power, gravity is enough. It only needs to capture some gas, let it fall, accelerate, and crash. The fall turns potential energy into heat, and heat into X-rays. It is a simple, almost brutal machine. Matter plunging inward and heating up until it becomes high-energy light. But if such a companion really existed, why don't we see it? Why does everything, invisible light, seem dominated by gamma SOS? The answer is that a compact companion can remain invisible even while it is at work, especially if it is a white dwarf, a small stellar remnant with an extremely hot but limited surface, easily buried in the blinding light of the B star. The system then becomes a perceptual illusion, a beacon that draws the eye, and beside it, a hidden engine powering the most energetic phenomenon. For decades, this tension remained unresolved. On one side, the magnetic idea, star and disk interacting like invisible gears. On the other, the accretion scenario, a companion stealing matter and turning it into X-rays. The point is that it was not enough to measure how much light was arriving. One had to understand who, physically, was speaking. And in X-rays, who speaks, is revealed by spectral lines, those subtle imprints left by elements in the hot plasma. If you can measure them with precision, you can even detect small shifts due to motion, like a Doppler tremor. It is an extraordinarily delicate detail. It does not concern intensity, but dynamics. And it is precisely in that detail that the story begins to tilt. When the emission is observed with sufficient resolution, what emerges is not just hot gas, but hot gas tied to a place, to a center of gravity, to an object moving in orbit. And at that point, the question that once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. If the signature of motion does not match the bright star, then what is really generating those X-rays? That suspicion is powerful because it overturns the roles of the characters. The visible star is no longer the engine, it becomes the reservoir. The disk is no longer a mere ornament, it becomes the fuel supply. And the invisible companion is no longer a detail, it becomes the point where energy concentrates. Once you accept this perspective, even the peculiarities of gamma SOS stop looking like isolated anomalies and begin to resemble coherent clues. The hardness of the spectrum, the extreme temperatures, the rapid variability. Everything feels more natural if matter is falling onto a compact surface, in a small volume where density and gravity can do their work without dispersing. But just when the picture finally seems stable, one last complication arises. The presence of a B disk changes the rules of accretion. It is not a steady flow as in many classical binaries. It is a living environment, pulsing, deforming, generating clumps. And if the fuel arrives in bursts, the engine will ignite in bursts as well. The solution, then, is not simply, there is a companion, but a choreography between disk and companion, a transfer of matter that is never perfectly continuous. Imagine the disk as a thin structure that breathes. Sometimes it expands, sometimes it contracts, sometimes it forms denser regions that orbit like waves. In a binary system, it is enough for the companion's orbit to cross, even marginally, the thicker parts of the disk for the amount of captured gas to change dramatically. At certain times, the companion feeds almost on emptiness. At others, it encounters a dense filament and feeds richly. This alternation can produce irregular variability, with flares and drops, without the need to invoke exotic instabilities. And if the companion is a white dwarf with a significant magnetic field, the story becomes even more compelling. The matter does not fall uniformly, but is channeled, guided, compressed along and visible, until it strikes confined regions of the surface. In those points, extremely violent shocks form, and the temperature rises rapidly. Such a process produces exactly what has made gamma SOS so famous: hard X-rays, an extremely hot plasma, and a source that can change its appearance on short timescales. The most subtle detail, however, is not the energy. It is the way nature hides the identity of the culprit. In visible light, gamma SOS dominates everything. It defines the system, it illuminates the sky. The companion, instead, can remain in the shadows not because it is still, but because it is small and because its light lies outside the range where our eyes are most sensitive. It is a trick of perspective. What is large and bright captures attention, but what is small and dense controls the physics. This is a general lesson in astrophysics, but here it is especially striking because the famous object is precisely the one that is not doing the most extreme work. And so the mystery of gamma SOS becomes a story about perception. The apparent source and the real source do not coincide. There is also a reason why this solution is more than a single case. For years, astronomers have known a small population of similar stars, the so-called gamma SOS analogs, be stars that emit harder and more intense X-rays than expected. If the dominant mechanism in many of these systems is indeed accretion onto white dwarfs, then we may be observing an evolutionary phase or a binary configuration more common than previously thought. It would not be a cosmic whim, but a recurring path that stellar evolution can take. And this opens a chain of consequences. It means that many stars we classify as single may hide compact companions. It means that the architecture of certain systems can be better reconstructed by looking at high energies, not invisible light. It means that the B disk, often treated as a superficial phenomenon linked to rotation, can become a key actor in mass exchange and therefore in the system's fate. And here comes the most hypnotic part. An object that seems like the quiet end of a star, a white dwarf, can behave like a fierce source without being, in itself, monstrous. You do not need a black hole to produce hard X-rays. You need a compact surface, you need infalling matter, you need a flow that is small but continuous or intermittent. The cosmos, here, reveals a ruthless economy. It takes a remnant and turns it into an energy machine simply by changing its fuel supply. And that fuel comes from the star we see. Thus, gamma SOS becomes a system where visible abundance feeds invisible violence. The bright star remains beautiful, but now it also appears vulnerable, because its very disk, the feature that makes it special, is the pathway through which its material can be stripped away. When you look again at the constellation of Cassiopeiae, that bright point is no longer just a bright point. It becomes a scene where the leading role is a disguise. Visible light is the mask. X-rays are the voice. And the voice does not belong to whom you thought. The true power comes from the hidden companion, from the process of accretion, from the elementary physical act of matter falling and heating up. This is not only an elegant solution to a technical enigma. It is a disquieting reminder. In the sky, often, what seems to be the center of the story is only the most illuminated character, not the one truly driving events. If you have made it this far, it means you love curiosity as much as we do. If you enjoyed this journey, leave a like, write a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It is the best way to support what we do. Your presence truly makes a difference. Until the next exploration.